Daniel, come back and finish what you started. Come and fulfill your marital duties. You will come back and meet me here. Precious was married to a tailor. His name was Daniel. Daniel was not just any tailor. No, he was a man whose hands were gifted. Hands that could turn an ordinary cloth into something extraordinary. From when he was young, Daniel had sat behind the humming machine, stitching life into every fabric he touched. By the time he grew older, people from every corner of the village and beyond came looking for him. They would say, "Go to Daniel if you want your cloth to stand out." He was that good, that talented, that hardworking. But Daniel had one problem, a problem nobody could ever explain. He loved sleeping. Not the kind of sleep that comes after a hard day's work. No, this one was different. At any time of the day, in the middle of sewing, Daniel could just stop. He would gently push his chair back, leave his machine right there humming, and lay down flat on the bench. Minutes would turn to hours. Customers would come and call his name, friends would tap him, co-workers would shake him. Yet, Daniel would be sleeping with his chest rising and falling gently. "Daniel, are you sure you are okay?" his friends would ask. He would blink, half awake, his voice heavy with sleep. I'm fine. Sometimes they would place their hands on his neck, trying to feel his temperature. Maybe he was sick. Maybe his body was weak. But no, his body was normal. His temperature was fine. Still, the question remained. Why did Daniel sleep so much? The answer was Precious. Yes, Precious, his beautiful wife. She was the reason behind his endless sleep. Because every morning, before Daniel could even stand up from bed, Precious would shake him awake. "My love," she would whisper with a mischievous smile, her lips brushing his hair. "My body is doing me somehow. Stand up, let's knack. If I no knack, it go be like say I go pie." Daniel would rub his eyes. "But Precious, we knack yesterday now." "Yesterday? Na yesterday. Today get him own. Stand up, Jerry, no dey dull me." And even when Daniel wanted to resist, even when his body was crying for rest, he would eventually give in. Precious would not let him go. She would shake him, hold him, kiss him, until finally Daniel would sigh, gather the little strength left in him, and give her what she wanted. The walls of their small house often carried her loud screams every morning. "Oh, yes, Daniel, harder, I love you." One day, as Precious was shouting in her usual way, something happened. Mommy G.O., the woman known across the street for her morning evangelism, was passing by. She carried her megaphone, preaching in her cracked voice. "Repent from your sins. Jesus is coming soon," she cried. But then, she stopped, because from Daniel's house, another voice was rising louder than hers. Precious. The woman froze. She listened, and then with holy anger, she marched straight to Daniel's door and began to bang him. "Open this door, una to dey disturb us." Inside, Precious was furious. "Who be that way they knock like say we owe her money?" "Na me, Mommy G.O., the woman replied, almost panting from shouting. "Una people are disturbing us with your noise." Precious hissed. "Madam, na my husband they knock me inside my house. Leave my door before I become angry this morning." And with that, she went straight back to moaning loudly. Mommy G.O. stood for a moment, her Bible trembling in her hands. But what could she do? With no words left, she shook her head and continued her lonely evangelism. And that was the morning routine of Mr. and Mrs. Daniel. Precious demanding, Daniel obeying, and his strength slowly draining. Weeks passed, months passed. Daniel began to look thinner. His face sank, his eyes looked tired, and his hands shook as he worked on his sewing machine. One afternoon, he turned to his co-worker Idris. "My brother, I want to ask you something," Daniel said softly. "Talk to me, Ogadani." Daniel looked around, lowered his voice. "My wife, she won't buy me." But Precious love you so much now. Or you got married to another woman that wants to poison you." Daniel leaned forward. "It's not like that. Idris, tell me the truth. Do you knack your wife every day, morning and night?" Idris burst out laughing. "No, is it food? Who does that?" Daniel's eyes darkened. "But Precious, she insists every day, morning, night. She doesn't rest. That is why I am always sleeping in the shop. I dey ashamed to talk am, but na the truth." Idris held him in hand. "Stand up and stop sobbing like this, Ogadani. Don't worry, it will be well. But I have an advice. You should meet Iya Agbo. Her medicine is strong. It go help you. And maybe if she give birth, she will change." Daniel nodded slowly. "I go try." That evening, instead of going straight home, Daniel stopped by Iya Agbo's small stall. Everyone knew her. She was the herbal woman who claimed to have a solution for every problem under the sun. Daniel greeted her. "Ah, Daniel, good evening, my son. What happened? You never did come my side like this before." Daniel shifted closer, whispering, "I won't knack my wife for 8 hours straight." "What?" Iya Agbo shouted, dropping her bottle. "You won't buy ham?" Daniel glared at her. "Collect megaphone and shout am now. You want to announce it to the whole village. Na secret I dey tell you." She laughed nervously. "No verse, my pikin. I just shock. But don't worry, I get something that will work for you." She moved quickly, mixing bitter drinks, dark powders and strange liquids into a cup. When she finally handed it to him, the smell alone was enough to make his eyes water. Daniel squeezed his nose and drank it, coughing hard. "You will come back and thank me," Iya Agbo said proudly. That night, Daniel returned home like a new man. After their meal, he carried Precious in his arms. "We go knack today, but this time it go be different." Precious blinked, surprised. "Which kind talk be that? Now you why they always beg, now you dey rush me." Daniel only smiled, pulling off his shirt. And that night, the bed shook like never before. Precious screamed in pleasure, and when it was finally over, she lay smiling, singing happily the next morning as she cooked. Daniel too was smiling. At last, he had energy. At last, he had power. Months later, Precious's belly grew round. She was pregnant. Everyone rejoiced. Gifts came, prayers were offered. Daniel himself danced with joy. At last, he thought, she go leave me small make I rest. But Precious did not stop. Even with her stomach heavy, she would still whisper to him at night, "Doctor talk say, if you no knack me well, I fit get problem during birth." Daniel rolled his eye in the dark. "That doctor na bastard," he muttered. But still, he continued. With Iya Agbo's drinks, he kept on knacking until Precious finally gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Chelsea. At Chelsea's naming ceremony, the drums beat loud, food flowed, and guests showered them with gifts. Daniel and Precious smiled proudly. They were happy. Their family was complete. But soon, something changed. After childbirth, Precious no longer begged Daniel like before. She was busy with Chelsea, busy with cooking, busy with life. For Daniel, it should have been a relief, but instead, it became a problem. because by then, Daniel was already addicted to Iya Agbo's drinks. His body itched, his blood boiled, and he could not stay still without knacking. One night he begged Precious, "Please, Precious, I want knack." But she shook her head. "Daniel, I beg. I dey tired. I get to bathe Chelsea and carry her go hospital tomorrow." Daniel sighed in the dark. The medicine was already burning in his body. He could not resist. So when Precious left with Chelsea, Daniel went out, searching. That was when he saw her, Ada, his ex. "Ada, good evening," he said. She turned, surprised. "Daniel, after all these years, how you dey?" Daniel smiled faintly. "I dey, but I know they fine. Let's talk." Soon they were in a small restaurant. Daniel brought her food, plenty food. After she was full, he took her to a hotel. Ada hesitated. "Daniel, what are we doing here? You get wife." Daniel's voice was sharp. "You swear you don't know why we dey here?" Ada bit her lip. "But you chose Precious over me. You left me." Daniel reached for his phone. "Give me your ropey." The alert entered her phone, and instantly, Ada's eyes changed. Without another word, she stripped off her clothes. That night, Daniel knocked her with the same strength that had once shocked Precious. Ada lay afterwards, breathless. "So now this thing Precious dey enjoy all this time," she whispered. From that day, Daniel and Ada became entangled again. She brought him food at his shop, visited him secretly, and soon he even rented her a small apartment for their meetings. Every afternoon, he would lock his shop and sneak away. Nobody knew. One afternoon, Ada did not open her door. Neighbors told Daniel she had traveled. Daniel was surprised. Where did she travel to? And why didn't she inform me? He asked, disappointed. Weeks passed. Daniel was forced back to his wife, slowly leaving Iya Agbo's drinks behind. He began to feel peace again. Until one morning, there was a knock. Precious was bathing Chelsea, so Daniel answered. Standing at the door was Ada, heavily pregnant. Beside her was her mother, with 2 travel bags. Daniel froze. "Ada, what are you doing here?" Her mother's voice was firm. "My in-law, your wife is carrying your son. She is here to stay with you." Daniel's knees almost gave way. "Wife? Carrying my son?" Before he could stop her, Ada and her mother pushed past him, entering his house. Precious came out of the room, holding Chelsea. She saw the pregnant woman, saw the bags, and her heart sank. "Good evening, Ma." Precious greeted politely. "How can I help you?" The old woman's reply was like thunder. "My daughter is carrying a son for her husband Daniel. She is here to stay." Precious turned slowly to Daniel. "Daniel, what is this?" He stammered. "Precious, I'm sorry." But Precious shook her head, tears filling her eyes. Without another word, she packed her bag and Chelsea's things. Daniel tried to stop her, but she pushed him away. She left for her father's house. Ada settled in, cooking, washing, acting like the wife. But destiny cannot be hidden forever. One night around 3:25 a.m., Daniel heard Ada's voice in the parlor. She was whispering on the phone. "No, Nicholas, I won't come back. You denied that it wasn't your pregnancy, and now that I have found someone who wants to take responsibility for it, you want me back? No, over my dead body." Daniel's eyes widened. His heart beat fast. He stormed into the parlor. "Ada, so now this na your plan? You want to pin another man's pregnancy on me?" Ada trembled. "Please, I can explain." Daniel roared. "Explain what? Evil woman." That very night, he drove her and her mother back. He went straight to Precious's family house, knelt before her father, and confessed everything. The old man looked at him with weary eyes. "Daniel, you have a wife.
Stop looking outside. Stop looking for what is not lost. Precious finally came out, holding Chelsea. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. Please, forgive me. She sighed, her heart breaking. But still, she forgave him. And so, they returned home together. But this time, they made a decision. A timetable. Yes, a timetable for knacking. Not too much, not too little. Balanced. And they followed it. Carefully. From then on, their marriage found peace again. And that, my friend, is the story of Daniel the tailor and his wife Precious. A story of love, temptation, weakness, and redemption. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, support me by liking, subscribing, and sharing. And don't forget to tell me where you're watching from. Till next time, I love you all.